Dear all, welcome to my YouTube channel Agribusiness, a journey. Today I will discuss a case regarding biscuits to dairy animals. It looks little bit of strange, but it gives you very good lesson how dairy sector in India sustain in coming days in contest to feed, fodder and animals into consideration. We all know that we are the largest producer of milk. The another side, our per lactation yield it is around the 1328 liters, or in some of the literatures it is highlighted that it is around the 1540 liters. Our per productivity is also very poor. Our animals, maybe due to the poor breeding and the feeding practices, we can able to produce only 3 to 4 liters per animal per day. Our per capita milk consumption is around 400 gram per day, but again there is the disparity. Where in the Punjab, the per capita consumption is more 900 grams, whereas in Odisha it is around the 160 grams. Can we say that? Why it happens? It may be the poor trading practices of animals from one area to another, or it may be due to the climatic conditions that has been comfort to create the production statistics in different animals. Can we say that it is the best feed that has been available after green revolution in Punjab, whereas the Odisha livestock is facing the shortage of feed and fodder and that could not produce the enough milk, and whereas it impact on the per capita consumptions? Okay, then throughout the world India is facing another challenges. The livestock produce the environmental pollutions and greenhouse gases. We have the livestock that produce the methane gas. But why it happens? India is facing around 35% shortage of the green fodder, around 10% shortage of the dry fodder, around the 44% of the shortage of the concentrate. If it happens, then we think about how our livestock sector survives. Our only 4% of the arable land is used for the fodder crop, whereas the Indian populations is growing at the pace of 1.6% per annum. In that case, livestock sectors grows around 0.66% per annum. Both the sectors compete with each other for the resources. In the same circumstances, we just feed our animals to sustain our milk through concentrate. Indian livestock are not well accustomed with the concentrate. Our rumen pattern is more accustomed with the roughages. But due to the lack of fodder and feed practices, we feed concentrates, and somehow due to the large chunk of populations or due to the poor productivity or the mismanagement of the feeding practices, there may be the chances that some of the percentage has been increased in methane gas productions through livestock. Think about more than 75% of the small and marginal farmers depend on dairy sectors. If you think about the agriculture sectors, small and marginal farmers are contribute 86% of the contribution in the agriculture sectors, and among them around the 75% of the small and marginal farmers depend on the dairy sectors. If you are not sustain or strengthen our dairy sectors, then definitely these number of the people will be facing the difficulty to sustain their livelihood. Again, another anomaly is that only 20% of the milk is handled through the formal sector. 80% of the milk are still under the control of the informal sector. I am highlighting about the informal sectors means whatever the data or whatever the information are coming from the particular sector, you can trust on it. But still, maximum people depend on it. If we day by day we are not putting our informal sector to more and more to formal sector, then time comes we cannot forecast our milk productions, and similarly it is very difficult to create a policy to sustain our livestock sectors. Still, dairy sectors establish social and economic empowerment and equity. It is the only sector where there is no land reform policy. It is the only sector women contributes as equally, or women grow as equally with the men. So we should not ignore the particular sectors as far as possible. After 1976, more than 60% of the diseases coming from livestock. It is an issue. It is an issue. Why more than 60% of the diseases coming from the livestock, or why more and more zoonotic diseases are coming to the human being? How we can establish one health approach throughout the nation? Can you say that it is due to the poor feeding? Can you say that it is due to the poor landscaping and the grazing? Can you say that our animals are not getting good food? That's why things are happening. But again, it is a question mark. We all should settle or sit together to discuss these things into one common podium. When everything has been discussed, then question marks comes that India is the only country that produce very less milk, though it is highest in milk production, poor productivity, and bearing the surplus cattle and buffalo. But question arises, why it happens? Era of mechanization after Green Revolution. Our bullock cart compete with the tractor. Our policy when thinking about the agricultural production, then in that time the bullock cart era has been vanished, and our bullock, which is mainly helps in the drafting power in the land, they have been obsolete. Some after that we ban of beef. Okay, it is the contest of Hindutva, or some of the states are taking the beef, but not all other states are allowing the beef for consumptions. But think about where we are and how we are handling the unproductive animals. Even ban of export of live animals also be observed in different context of the time period. If these things happens, then our dairy sector, you can say that our cattle and buffalo has been bifurcated into three categories. One is bullock, completely obsolete. Second is unproductive male and female animals, completely obsolete. And only the sector has been handled by the dairy one, or those who are producing the milk has the value in the sector, and those who are not any contributions in the economy of the farming community, they have been obsolete. Okay, nowadays we are thinking about how to materialize our cow dung and how to create the energy, but the things again the question mark arises. Productive animals find space, whereas the unproductive animals finds in the road. Where we do proper caring for the animals who are giving the milk, whereas the unproductive animals are not getting the proper feed. In this context, I have bring a case study. When I have visited Rajasthan, and one of the most critical area of Bikaner city, that is the city of arid zone. If you are bifurcate the Rajasthan in different type of the climatic zone, I personally believe that Bikaner and Jaisalmer is those areas where you are getting the feed for the animals is very quite difficult. In that time, there is a practices on Saturday. There is a holy practices on Saturday that citizens like to give jaggery, or you can say the good to the animals. They feel that if the animals are feeding the good or the jaggery, then it is the blessings, and it is a create of pious in nature. That things has been taken into consideration by one of the organization, and they create a biscuit from the feed materials and market the biscuit in two different prices. 5 rupees for biscuit if you are buy individually, and 400 piece of the or 100 biscuit at the cost of 400 rupees per packet. Day by day, they also targeted another area, that is the target to the Gosala. They market their individual biscuits to the individual persons and market the packet of biscuits to the Gosala. If these things or these practices can be done in Bikaner, can we say that these practices can be replicated in Bundelkhand? I have highlighted the Bundelkhand because it is the area in India where maximum acute shortage of feed and fodder has been observed. Dear all, we can't ignore our feed and fodder in coming days. But whatever the circumstances, our animals should not be suffered. They should be fed properly. Our industry should not be suffered. Their capacity should be utilized properly. And as an entrepreneur, we should target or should identify the untapped market where we have penetrated our innovative products by which our animals will get the benefit of feed and fodder to survive in the changing circumstances. Thank you all. Thank you for watching my video.